welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
But the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterward.
And Wash has found 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3 with the primal rage!
Experience tranquility.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Tranquility here as we're going to continue now in the North American region while we're in the Discord tier to see the number 9 Poseidon team take on the number 9 Redacted team. My name is Dexter and I am joined tonight by Thurium. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing quite well, and honestly, I am looking forward to this matchup because, well, Redacted has had a pretty decent season in terms of the games they've had. Unfortunate that they get knocked to the lower bracket where they must fight for their lives in order to get that spot back on the championship bracket. But facing their way is Poseidon, who by no means, struggled a bit, but they're here still putting up a fight, and with their win against Adrenalines from last week, they're just showing promise.
Yeah, I mean, I believe this is a game in the lower tier the lower bracket right now. So a loss tonight for either one of these teams could knock them out if I am to be correct here. Here we're going to take a look at the brackets right now. I believe first we're going to start with that lower bracket that we are currently in. You see right there, match 14, our matchup here tonight on stream. All those other matchups you see currently are also going on around the same time as right now. So we will be able to update you on the scores tonight as we get them.
Definitely. And if you've noticed, at least from the lower bracket runs from some of these teams, a lot of the teams in the Discord tier NA lower bracket have gotten in as, I think, either as elimination pool teams or as B pool teams, and haven't dropped their maps yet. So this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm also looking forward to see how the scores are coming in for Discord tier upper bracket, because there are a lot of strong matchups happening today, which ultimately decide one way or another how our championship bracket is going to start looking like.
Yeah, 8 matchups going on right now as we speak. We're watching 1 here tonight. That means there's 7 going on elsewhere. 4 teams will lose or be eliminated tonight from the rest of the playoffs, while 4 more teams will move on in the lower bracket, and 4 more teams from that upper bracket will come down to the lower bracket to be fighting for their playoff lives. But going back to this game, Redacted and Poseidon, Redacted comes in as the higher seed on paper, but Poseidon is also a good team as well.
Yes, I agree with that, and I think when it comes to just also tournament experience, I think Redacted has been with Tranquility at least for the whole season. Poseidon, on the other hand, not only was competing in Tranquility, but was competing in Hyperion back in Stage 1, participating in both Tranquility and Hyperion, which just means they are maybe a bit more battle-tested with stronger teams. So we'll see how this matchup is going to end up.
Yeah, you talk about being battle tested a little bit. Maybe that could also, fatigue them a little bit. They go from one league to another a couple times a week here, but, now they're focusing here in Tranquility. They're in the playoffs here in the Discord tier. They're already in that lower bracket, so they know one loss knocks them out of it. However, we do know what our first map is going to be here tonight. We'll be going to Oasis.
I think a lot of teams, when they toss up around which map to pick with for the first Koth map, there seems to be a toss-up either between Oasis and Nepal. Slight, avoidance maybe of Ilios. I think probably because Oasis and Nepal provide more stable compositions that you can run and also play styles. So I'm wondering what Redacted has up their sleeves by picking Oasis, as due to they are the higher seed between the two, this is their map pick.
Yeah, like you said, Redacted here picked this map here, so they have to have some sort of playstyle that they're going for on this map, between the 3 points on this map that they feel confident about going into here. But as we kind of load into the map here, I believe this is going to be City Center first, I'm taking a guess.
This looks like City Center.
No, this
wait.
is University.
Oh wow, I haven't seen like the that part of university, like taken a time to look at it. I guess it's just the benefit of being, production. But
Yeah.
coming out of the gate, you do see Poseidon already set up with the Zarya composition, which has been meta with this current patch that we're on, not the Owl meta, which some teams have started to do. Redacted, on the other hand, going for that Owl meta, except switching out that monkey with a Reinhardt, maybe just for that more swing potential.
Yeah, and as we see here on Gambito, as he just straight up walks through that disruptor shot, and now Master is just swinging away. Nugget able to find Murph, so already one support down for Poseidon. I wonder if that's going to force a fallback right now, but Nugget actually going for the opposition's soldier. They're not able to get it, but King able to take care of Prime, so it's a trade right now for the teams. However, it does look like Redacted here will be able to take the first point.
Yep, Redacted do take the first point, but you still have Poseidon fighting this over because you have a high charge Zarya still up with King Kuchi.
Yeah, and look at this, Poseidon already coming back, trying to retake it. They take care of Master there, and it's still a little bit of a scrappy team fight going on right now, but Gambito falls, and this might be exactly what Poseidon was looking for. King takes down one, takes down two, going for a third. However, the third is able to run back and group up with their team, and now Poseidon is just going to kind of put a little bit of pressure here onto Redacted.
I mean, Poseidon just need to kite that back. They got their value. They waited the long game, hoping King Kuchi would get that high charge on Zarya and just push back in. Yes, Redacted got the initial point contest and point capture, but with, Prime down, Chesky doing most of the healing, it's really tough.
Yeah, beat comes out here from Boopy, but the kills are going the way of Redacted. Actually, it's a trade. A huge shatter comes out from Master. Nugget takes care of one, but Gecko comes right back on another trade. King keeping them alive in this fight. Master, though, able to take care of King. Now it's a 2v2 fight on point right now. One support and one, actually, 2 DPS for Poseidon and one tank and one, DPS for Redacted right now, but it looks like Redacted is going to try to retake point. Prime taking care of Gecko, though, might just be what they need here. But look at this, Poseidon coming back in, trying to contest this as long as they possibly can, but only 56% is all they can say they had.
I mean, great stall, I guess, from the side of Poseidon, right? You had up just your Sojourn and your Baptiste, very low Master Ryan on point as Ryan, and the stall time, really great, but now you're coming into the next fight. Redacted has both DPS ults, and I don't think they have an answer to it.
Yeah, look at this. Gambito already comes right out, pops that Death Blossom, finds one. They're looking for another one. Foxstar just jumps off the map, and King will follow them just to regroup back and spawn. A nice team kill coming out here from Redacted, and by the next time Poseidon comes into a team fight here, Redacted will be back in the lead.
Yes, definitely. And Poseidon coming out, we'll have to probably invest this window and this overclock, one or the other, to take that space back from Redacted. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a trade of overclocks incoming with It's Me Nugget starting it off.
Yeah, Nugget finds Kuchi. They find the Immortality Field. They also find Foxard. They're looking for another one there. They do see Gecko, but Gecko is in spawn, and Nugget decides just to fall straight back and regroup with their team. And now Redacted has Poseidon here basically in a spawn hold.
It is a spawn hold, but they don't really have any ultimates to continue this spawn hold. They'll have to try fight this. On the other hand, Poseidon does have this overclock and this window, except they just do this good old switcheroo and have flipped the map on Poseidon.
Yeah, Poseidon's gonna try to retake the point here. They're not able to. The bubble there will keep King alive. Master's trying to do whatever they can, but now we see Gecko pop their overclock, desperately looking for anyone. But the shatter comes out from Master. It finds two. He's swinging away and is able to confirm those two he got in that shatter. Poseidon looking like they're pretty much done for here on the first point, as Redacted will take it.
Redacted will take it with just a really good map flip on their behalf, and waiting for Master Ryan to build that Ryan Shatter that just sealed the deal from them. Poseidon, on the other hand, looking like they're struggling on which ultimates to use, right? We had Gecko and Murph both having their ults online before Redacted could even get that shatter from Master Ryan. Overclock gets popped very late into the fight, and by that end, Master Ryan has that Ryan shatter. So Poseidon, if there's anything that right now they need to work on, it's more of, okay, we really need to use these ultimates, and whether it's to take space or to get value with these ultimates. And coming out of this, we have Poseidon still running that same composition, Redacted, really going for practicing this owl meta of the Kiriko monkey.
Yeah, it looks like they both want to fight over here on the high ground. Poseidon will be able to get up onto it first, so this could be really risky for Redacted to try to get up there. However, they're almost taking care of Gecko there, who's just kind of bouncing in that elevator to get up there. Somehow they're still alive. They only have about 1 health. Finally, Nugget is able to take care of them. Gambino takes care of Murph. Foxheart is able to get 1 member of Redacted, but I feel like the damage might already be done here.
And the damage is already done. You lose Gecko, who's really a big source of your off-angle damage. And Foxer's job really is to pressure out that monkey, but hey, it seems like we might be turning things around with Boopy and Kinkuchi still alive and just cleaning up the stragglers.
Yeah, all you really need is 1 Zarya and 1 support there to just win a team fight in Overwatch 2, especially when the other team is down some members there. And a lot like we saw on the first point there, the first team capped it, and then it was a quick recap by the other team here. Let's see if Poseidon can hold on to this point for a little bit here.
I mean, as long as they build towards this Graviton Surge with a very high charge Kinkuchi, they should be completely fine. On the side of Redacted, there really isn't much in the ult bank that they can work towards, probably just the Kiriko Fox.
Yeah, but these teams want to fight here on this high ground. Trades coming out, but finally we see Prime fall there to give the edge to Poseidon just for a moment, though, as we see both soldiers go after each other. Gambino is able to take care of Gecko. Foxer comes right back with another trade on to the dueling Reaper of Gambino, and they find Nugget as well. The Reaper just going in right now for Poseidon, and they're able to win that team fight and hold on to this point just a little bit longer.
Yep, and even then, Kinkuchi does not even use the Graviton Surge, which they will have for this next fight. And Prime, very far off from the Lucio beat that could counter that. Right now, if you look at the pool, there really isn't anything to counter this incoming Graviton Surge, and I'm pretty sure Redacted is ready. So they're taking this rotate on the opposite side in order to avoid having to brawl it out on high ground.
Yeah, Graf comes out and captures 3 members of Redacted. The Suzu is used by Shex there, but it only saves them just for a little bit here. However, they are kind of flipping this fight right now. But Poseidon able to find the kill there onto Master. Down goes the Kiriko. Down goes Nugget as well. Gambino trying their hardest, but King is just a little bit too powerful on that Zarya right now. And Poseidon, again, wins that team fight.
Yep, and what's very concerning is that Redacted had used 2 ultimates in that fight after being grabbed. Poseidon, on the other hand, had just used that Graviton Surge. So coming to this next fight, Poseidon has all the tools just to keep this map to themselves, this round to themselves. But Master Round does have Primal. That makes him stay alive longer. But the question is that enough?
Is that enough? Gecko here popping their overclock, looking for any heads. They land a shot there onto Gambino, but they don't find the kill. Nugget, though, comes right back into Gambino's Death Blossom is huge. It finds 1 member, it gets rid of that immortality field. King, though, still alive means you still have to fear. However, King finally falls. Foxheart falls as well. Gecko trying their hardest, but it might just be smart for them just to flip this point over.
It might be smart for Gecko to just regroup with his teammates or to die off map just so that he doesn't stagger even further. But that was a very costly fight for Redacted. They had to use Beat, they had to use Primal, they had to use Blossom. Coming to the next fight, they have nothing on the board. Poseidon, they could aggressive beat into this point, especially with that Graviton Surge on the side of Kinkuchi. Can we get Kinkuchi to high charge so that he gets value? We'll see.
But the Grab comes out and captures 3. Master already out. Prime gone. Murph comes back and dies. Foxheart actually dies as well. Redacted doing enough to keep this fight in their favor for the moment. The healing has to be on point for them right now. But Gambino falls. They're going after Nugget. Nugget falls as well. And they're just trying to get rid of this Kiriko. Uses the Suzu on himself. But that will only save them here for a moment as King just decides to start throwing hands instead of shooting them with that particle beam. However, they are looking at Prime now, trying to get rid of the Lucio. The immortality field comes out from Murph a little bit too early, in my opinion, for them. But the ball and the Lucio are doing a great job for Redacted right now, just holding on to this point. Look, they're back. Nugget pops the overclock, finds 1. They're going for a second one right now. King finds Prime, finally gets rid of that Lucio. This team fight is going on for what seems to be a long time, but but Redacted has done a great job just staggering out this point right now. King tries to go after this Reaper, gets rid of the Reaper, pops the grab just to try to get rid of this Kiriko, but the ball is the problem. Master is doing a masterful job on it, just stalling out the point right now, but they finally fall, but we see the Lucio come back from Prime. Again, Redacted doing such a great job, but they finally fall there. The point flips over. It has gone into overtime. Poseidon just trying their hardest to make sure no one else gets back. Nugget comes back to touch. We see Gambito come back on the tracer. Touches only for a moment before they die. The Kiriko comes back. Gecko lands one headshot with their railgun there to take care of them. Now Master is back on that ball, trying their hardest just to stay alive. Poseidon trying so hard, but we see another late touch come in from Prime. But I feel like that should finally do it. Poseidon evens it up here on this first map.
Redacted just showing how masterful they are with stalling the point. Those were really quick, I guess, roll-throughs from both the Lucio and the ball to keep the point running for that portion of time that it was still on their side. But at the end of the day, Poseidon just had more bodies on the point, and with just a bit of focus fire, you could just melt the stragglers that are coming in. So this round on Gardens is going to be the deciding point on who takes the first map. And well, both sides seem to be showing the same composition. So will Redacted be able to adjust, I guess, their playstyle into this Zarya? Because right now in this current patch, Zarya is still very much broken.
Yeah, Zarya is a very, very scary character, especially once they get over about 50% on that charge. It just becomes something you do not want to stand in front of. But again, looks like the team just want to fight for this high ground here first. Gecko, though, able to take care of Gambito. That might be the thing that Poseidon was looking for. Master trying to just bop anyone off. However, they end up falling off themselves and again, end up falling to King here. Now King, 60 on that beam. Look at them go. They find one. They're trying to get a third one here as well, but Fox aren't able to take it away from there. But now again, Poseidon should be able to take this first point.
Poseidon should be able to take this first point, and really no ultimates on the board. The fight has been very quick, and this is probably going to be a next dry fight from both. You do see a swap from Master Ryan from that monkey to a Reinhardt. Probably just the ability to get more done with Ryan swings and maybe build up to a much faster ultimate as they take this high ground from Poseidon.
Yeah, again, they want to fight on this high ground. King, incredibly low. The immortality field comes up to keep them alive. Nugget takes care of that immortality field, though. And look at this Poseidon all falling down to make sure they're not get completely bomb rushed there by that Redacted squad. King just going after the healers right now. They're able to take care of Prime there. Now they have their sights set on Master. They melt down Master as well. But now there are still some members of Redacted on point. Gambito finds Murph. However, the kills continue to go the way of Poseidon.
Yep, goes all the way for Poseidon, and Nugget forced to reset so that he doesn't stagger himself from the team. Coming to this next fight, the Boopy's probably the only one with ult. With Poseidon probably going to get those ultimates within the early portions of the next team fight. Redacted, on the other hand, probably just this Kitsune rush, and I wouldn't be surprised if they'll be taking some poke damage just so that Chesky can get this rush on just in time.
Shatter is ready for Master, except they walk straight into that disrupting shot, almost die because of it. Now the Kitsune rush comes out. However, half their team's already dead. They're not going to get much out of that. We see Gambito just jump off the map there, and the only thing that Redacted can say about that team fight is that Prime was able to kill Gecko.
I mean, Prime was able to kill Gecko, and that just means Gecko will be taking a while to regroup with his team. On the other hand, Redacted full 5 when they go into this next fight, and with 3 ultimates on the board, with Gambito probably getting hit within mid-fight. Poseidon, their only person with ultimates coming from spawn.
Yeah, Gecko back. They pop that overclock here. Don't find anything with it, but Nuggets overclock is the one that is finding everything. 2 headshots coming out for them. Master finds one with the shatter, and Gambino cleans up King there, as Poseidon was able to get the 99% before Redacted finally takes the point.
Yeah, but at what cost does Redacted do this? Redacted, great, you got value from all your ultimates, but you used all your ultimates. Nothing coming up for the next fight, so both teams will have to try fight this until maybe Gambito gets a Blossom, but even then, how much is going to Blossom do for this next fight?
I mean, it could be huge here. Master, though, does find Boopy out early, so this could be big. They're now looking to pop this Blossom. They pop it here. They find King, and now Redacted wants to try to keep this pressure up on Poseidon. Foxtrot does find Master, so that will probably force a little bit of a fallback here from Redacted since you don't have your big shield anymore.
Yeah, but with both teams losing their tanks, this is still an even footing for them. Though Redacted would probably back up slightly to maybe a better position as King Kuchi respawns from Poseidon. And as they make this attack towards the point, no ultimates on the board, except maybe King Kuchi's Graviton Surge, which is coming up very soon, especially with that hit.
Yeah, they got it right now. They might be looking to use it whenever they see another member of that team. Here it comes. It catches all 3 members out. 1, 2, 3, all down. Nugget, though, able to find Murph, but they're trying their hardest to hold on to this point, but it won't matter. They eventually fall. The point is flipped here. Gambito is the only one that could possibly get back. They're trying their hardest, and they're just able to. Let's see if Redacted, they now have to do essentially what they did on the last point. Just try to stall this out as long as they could. Prime, though, gets denied at the door, and Poseidon will win this first point.
Poseidon definitely showing why the Zarya composition is still working for this current patch. And hey, if you're a team who has been practicing this for much of, I guess, the past stage 2, you know, more props to you for having to do it until this round just to qualify and make this really decent lower bracket run. On the side of Redacted, would be interesting to see how are they going to switch things up and what kind of compositions they are planning to run for this next map, especially now that the next map is also their map choice.
Yeah, that's always a big thing, picking a map that plays into your playstyle there. We saw a little bit on the first point that, especially when they have ultimates in the bank and just ready to go, they really like to be aggressive there. And we kind of saw it there on that last point as well. We saw Gambito get that Blossom very late there in that round before they lost the point. They used it right away. They took care of King. However, they'd lost their tank, and that was the biggest thing. As long as they have that tank up and ready to go, I feel like Redacted can pretty much be in any team fight.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about the Ryan Zarya matchup, I still think there's still some strength with running a Reinhardt. I think if there's anything, you'd probably want to change the support line you're running so that you could, I guess, keep your Reinhardt up more. Especially if you're running into a team that isn't playing at Ana. I think as much as Kiriko Suzu is very strong, there isn't much value to it if you're getting melted down very quickly by a high charge Zarya.
Yeah, and even though Kiriko is in a little bit of a strong spot herself right now in the meta, I just don't necessarily know. Like you said, it might not be the right move if you're going to stick out there with a Rhine. Maybe try to get something with a little bit more healing. Maybe something that can do also a little bit more damage, like a Moira. Maybe even try to keep a were they playing a Lucio as well?
I think a Baptiste might benefit for Redacted if they do really want to run this Rhine composition. Your lamp stays up longer, but at the same time your Bap Pride provides, I guess, more not just burst healing but consistent damage. You know, the benefit of a Kiriko is that 120 damage headshot if she manages to land it. Baptiste, one way or another, you can put consistent damage in as, you know, a contribution to a team fight.
Yeah, but again, Poseidon is picking this next map. I mean, Redacted picking this next map here. We know it is a hybrid map. We do know what map it will be. We'll be heading to the streets of New York City here. Yes, that's right. We are going to Midtown here. So we see Redacted picking this one here. They're picking it for some reason. Thor, what do you think that reason is?
I think one way or another, it might just be the overall verticality. I think that Midtown somewhat has. If you're someone who has been practicing the owl meta, I think Midtown provides a lot of that verticality, especially on the second point or even staging for that first point. But, you know, you could also still run that brawl composition. It really is a matter of, right now, can your support line actually support your tanks one way or another? Because I think that's the struggle that Redacted ran into while in Oasis.
Yeah, honestly, that like you talked about a little bit before, that, you know, their supports wasn't necessarily keeping the tank up that well. I imagine they were trying their best to keep their tank up. It just didn't necessarily work out for them there, especially after we saw Poseidon go to that Zarya pick there. But we'll be hopping in here, so we'll be able to see what we see both these teams come out with here. I'm just honestly hoping to see Redacted, bounce back from that one map loss here. If you look at the seedings of this game, Redacted is the higher seed than Poseidon. But again, you're in this lower bracket, anything can really happen.
Yeah, anything can really happen. And if there's also one thing that I would also like to point out is, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, along with this match, there are 7 other matches ongoing at the same time. And right now, one of the teams with a latest score update is the match between Cosmic Castaways and Hammerhead, with Cosmic Castaways taking the first map from them.
Yeah, and if you look at that, that's actually would be a huge upset. Cosmic Castaways is the 10 seed, Hammerheads is a 3 seed, respectively. So that would be a huge upset for them right now. But we finally get to see what the teams are coming out with here. Honestly, I'm not surprised that Redacted is kind of teasing us with a Widowmaker pick here, on especially this first point because of the long sightline.
I think the long sideline with a Widowmaker would work very well, especially if you know that maybe Poseidon is staging at the lower ground instead of trains. Now, I'm kidding. What I'm wondering is if Gambito is actually sticking to this Roadhog pick. Now, he's switching to Zarya, and that's something we need to note. There has been swaps on the side of Redacted, with Gambito coming in to play tank and Turtle VP coming in to play the Reaper character. So, we really see them taking the low ground and opting to not fight in train cars, which we should never do. By the way, that is a death sentence. Never fight train cars.
Yeah, never do that right here. They instead go out the back alleyway. They want to get into this firehouse right here and try to take point through there. But however, they just walk straight up into it. I feel like essentially they're just fish in a barrel at this point. King is already highly charged right now. They're holding on to a bubble for whenever they think that they need it right now, but they're already going after Nugget. The bubble comes out. Look at that. 100% charge for them. That beam is absolutely terrifying. Gambito, though, able to take care of that immortality field that Murph threw down. Boopy is able to take care of the other immortality field. Now King finds Turtle VP out. Gambito comes right back, though, finds a trade onto Murph. King, though, just raining terror right now. Fox are able to take care of Gambito there, and now we're looking to see a little bit of a fallback here from Redacted. Nugget just decides to bite the bullet there, and it looks like, as well, Prime will.
I mean, at the end of the day, what ended up happening there is you had Redacted. Yes, you take the safe rotation route and find yourselves in the firefighter house area, but with only 2 doors, Poseidon can just do poke damage in it, and it's really a matter of who can get picked from that tiny doorway. And coming up to this next fight, though, you do see Redacted is building towards their ultimates way faster than Poseidon, except for that Lucio beat by Boopy, who probably has been on heals for Poseidon this whole time.
Yeah, Boopy does, like you said, has that beat ready to go, but here comes the damage matrix from Shex here. They're able to help Prime there, take care of Murph, and now look at that. Here comes the grab from Redacted. This could be huge. That's all the members of Poseidon in it. Here comes the overclock from Nugget. They find one. Foxer comes right back though and finds Gambito. Here comes the Death Blossom for Foxer. Doesn't find anyone. Turtle VP, though, is the one that you need to be watching out for on that Reaper as they take care of 3 members of Poseidon there and cap the first point.
And what's quite amazing with that whole fight is that it was such an expensive fight for Poseidon. Poseidon had Boopy's beat at the start of the fight and built towards the other 3 ultimates of the team, and expended all 4 for 1, not getting any picks and losing the first point. And now Redacted has all the space to take up and fight for this high ground from Poseidon.
Yeah, look at this. They force out the damage matrix or amplification matrix from Murph here a little bit early, in my opinion. They should have been holding out for about right now. However, they had to throw that out there because Boopy fell early in the team fight. Now they're just trying to keep King supported as much as they possibly can. Gecko takes care of the immortality field. King trying their hardest to get rid of that Baptiste there, and they're going to be able to finally take care of them. I believe they actually made a swap off to that. I know they were on that Baptiste earlier, but Gambito comes right back, finds Gecko. They're going for the Reaper now of Fox Arrow, or Foxheart, able to find them. Now they're going after King. They find King as well. Turtle VP has came in and just written their name on this match so far.
I mean, I think the swaps of noticing that Poseidon wants to play the Zarya composition have opted to just mirror them at this rate. Probably saying that no, we probably have a better understanding of the Zarya composition and how we want to play it. And so they made these necessary swaps with Gambito now playing the Zarya. And Turtle VP is the only one with an ultimate coming into this, with Chesky building towards that window, and he just hops it on Poseidon.
Yeah, he pops it. The only thing to get rid of, though, is that immortality field. Gecko comes right back to find Prime, but Foxar down. Boopy down as well. Gecko, though, comes right back and finds Turtle. Gambino, though, keeping their squad up and in this fight. King trying their hardest, but Nugget is there, and the numbers are there for Redacted as well as they cap the second point.
I mean, that was a fair fight. You had both Zaryas and both soldiers from both teams still alive, but at the end of the day, it was more of Gambito just had more HP at that last fight compared to King, and that made all the difference. Coming to this next fight, still, you do have a Graviton surge from both sides, and, you know, an overclock, with both teams building towards that Lucio beat. So it's a question of, can we get this Lucio beat online in order to deal with this incoming Graviton surge? And if not, how will we respond?
The amplification comes out, though, for the side of Redacted right now. Nugget is using it to their advantage. They find one there with their overclock. Actually, no, it's just the immortality field, my bad. But Turtle comes right back and finds King. Gecko, those overclocks, is able to find Shex there. Right now, they're doing a good job finding the grab, though, comes out from Gambito. They find Murph. However, the kills are going the way of Poseidon at the moment. They're trying their hardest just to take care of the last remaining members of Redacted, but a nice railgun shot there from Nugget takes care of Gecko. That kind of keeps him in this fight for a moment. Movie falls to Prime. Their Prime got incredibly low there on health, but able to stay alive. However, it's kind of an even kind of fight right now. They're kind of both trying to poke out some damage.
I mean, the fire truck right now is at that very neutral between both points, so you'd rather do the poke damage until everyone on the team is back, which King Kuchi then decides to just throw this Graviton Surge.
Yeah, they throw that Graviton Surge there. Foxheart is holding on to this Death Blossom as King takes care of Turtle right now. The Amplification Maker comes out from Murph there. They get some help, and Foxheart's Death Blossom is huge. It cleans up Redacted there, and that will buy Poseidon a little bit more time.
Yeah, it does buy Poseidon a bit more time to stage, but at the same time, Poseidon now with no ultimates on the board will have to drive fight this next push. On the side of Redacted, they could build towards this Reaper Blossom with maybe Turtle engaging, getting charged for Gambito to build up his Zarya gun, and from there just snowball it and let rip that Reaper Blossom.
Yeah, Turtle here just trying to find anyone. Looks like they're trying to go after the Reaper before they Wraith form out there to keep themselves alive. Gambito gets incredibly low. The Immortality Field comes out. That will keep them alive here for the moment, but King takes care of it. Nugget, though, able to get the railgun shot there on to Gecko before King comes right back and takes care of Redacted Baptiste, and now King absolutely just being a menace. However, they're very low in health. The Immortality Field comes out to keep them alive only for a moment, though, before Turtle is able to take care of them. Now Turtle sitting on that Death Blossom. Gecko is able to find Prime, Gambito, and Turtle find Murph and Booby, the supports for Poseidon. Now we do see Gecko over there, incredibly low health, no support to keep him alive here at the moment. And now Redacted just looking to push this card. The grab actually comes out from Kuchi here, trying to take care of Gambito. They're not able to. Now the grab comes out from Gambito, captures two, but no one falls from it yet until King able to take care of Gambito there. The railgun comes out here, but the Death Blossom comes out from Gecko. It's a little bit better than the overclock there from Gecko. And Nugget absolutely wow, I cannot speak right now, but Nugget takes care of two more. Turtle's going after King here, but not able to do it, and Poseidon here has help.
Oh my gosh, that was such a long fight with like very strong, very good ultimate trades. I think the Graviton Surge of King Kuchi onto Gambito was really from noticing that Chesky had used Lamp just to get Turtle and Gambito to a safe position, popping it way earlier than maybe they should have. I think at that portion of time, Gambito and Turtle VP, once they saw they lost so many members and they were close to Poseidon's spawns, should have backed out, and not as wasn't the case. And now they have to fight to cap this during overtime.
Yeah, but they could. Yeah, they're gonna probably have to cap it in overtime here, but the kills here are just kind of trading out each side right now. Gambito falls. That's a huge loss for Redacted, as now they do not have that Zarya, but we do see the Lucio and the Soldier trying their hardest right now. Now it's just the Lucio, but a 1-on-3 fight is not a fair fight, and Poseidon able to hold Redacted here after a very, very strong start for Redacted.
Redacted with a very strong start. The snowball from just like the play from first point and then snowballing that whole second point really did them well. I think there had just been maybe just some pacing issues the moment they hit the third point. Yes, it's an equal fight of 2v2 at some point while pushing that fire truck. But when you are down as support and your only 2 players still up are your tank and your DPS who are at critical HP, I think that's just a hightail sign to back up, regroup, rather than continue a fight and prolong it, which is what ended up happening in that, I guess, second to the last push of Redacted onto 3rd point. Now, hopefully, Redacted realized that maybe we need to balance out the tempo of when we go in and when we go out, and especially just playing our lives when our supports are down. So now it's their turn to defend, and I wouldn't be surprised if Poseidon does the same, I guess, rotation that Redacted does. I mean, it's either that or you just go straight to point and brawl it there, but why would you do that when there's barely any natural cover on point as an attacking team?
Yeah, but now Poseidon being able to hold Redacted there is huge for them. It gives them a win condition here without having to go to overtime. However, Redacted, same thing. Even though he didn't full cap the map, you got pretty far there on that last push. So anywhere before that, if you can hold Poseidon, you win the map and tie up the series.
Oh yeah, that's definitely sure. Or let's try holding them here. We'll see how that goes, because some teams have managed to be able to do it. Poseidon taking their left side rotation and just going straight to point, not looking from the alleyway, but Turtle VP does get nerfed in the process.
Yeah, but look at this, Redacted just continues to find kill after kill here. Turtle VP not scared of that soldier, and Gambito takes care of King there, and Booby falls as well. I wonder if we might see a little bit of a composition change coming out from Poseidon, since they absolutely just got rolled there.
I mean, I think more than anything, that was just a bad rotation, right? You were playing out way in the open, makes it so easy for Redacted to put in poke damage at you and melt you out. So if you can't rotate through natural cover or through open spaces very quickly where there's a minimal natural cover, you are going to take a bulk of the damage and get picked off. And learning from that, Poseidon decides to go alleyway.
Yeah, Nugget here incredibly low as we hop on the Turtle VP here. They're just raining in some damage with those Hellfire shotguns, but Foxheart able to find them. Boopy takes care of the Immortality field for Redacted as well, and look at this. One team fight down, and Poseidon came right back and easily just kind of rolls through Redacted at the moment. Again, we see Prime try to hold on to a contest there. However, with 5 members against 1, it is not a fair fight for them.
Yeah, that is not a fair fight. And Poseidon, realizing the mistake they did in terms of their rotations, managed to quickly capture the first point in their second push through their attack. Now, Redacted, because the fight was very quick, don't really have any long spawns. So they're right now at the doorway and preventing, I guess, Poseidon from just pushing through. So it's a matter of just making sure no one gets picked off here, because the moment someone does, on the side of Redacted, it just snowballs.
Yeah, look at this. Redacted, though, already comes back 4 straight kills. Make it a team kill for them right there. An excellent response from Redacted right there. And look at this. 3 ultimates ready to go. 2 more about to be ready to go here. So Redacted, if they want to, can hold Poseidon at their own spawn here for a little bit.
You can see Chesky just popping the window right away.
Yeah, and they're able to take care of Boopy right there. And look at that. 2 more kills come right out right after that. King able to escape back to the safety of spawn there, so they not have to wait a little bit longer. But what's the point in waiting, especially when they're holding you at your own spawn doors?
I mean, so you don't get additionally picked off, but then now they're just struggling to figure out which door is the safest to get out of, and Prime just catches Murph way too far from the team, and Poseidon is forced to regroup and figure out how to get out of spawn. And at this rate, they will have to use an ultimate to get out of spawn, and you see here Turtle just waiting to flank Death Blossom in order to force out ultimate.
Yeah, look at this. Turtle pops it, immediately gets 2, make it 3 there, but that third one is the Immortality field. However, Foxheart able to take care of them, but it doesn't matter as the rest of their team able to take care of Poseidon here. And look at this. They've almost chewed off 2 minutes of the clock Poseidon had now. This has been a great hold so far for Redacted.
Great hold from Redacted, and also very economically great. You had only used Blossom, but now that you have Gambito caught in a grab, this is time to back off. Save your 3 ultimates for that next fight. You've already melted down 2 minutes off the clock. On the side of Poseidon, using that Graviton Surge to catch the enemy Zarya off guard, especially with their main source of frontline damage through the Reaper God, I think was probably a good utilization. Now the usage of the Beat by Boopy, mixed results, because now they're coming to the next fight with just Blossom from Blossom, and that really doesn't work.
Look at this. Here comes the grab now from Gambito. Nugget pops that overclock, finds one with it, finds a second one. They're looking for a third, but Turtle is just absolutely stealing the kills away. Prime able to take care of Boopy there, and another nice team fight win by Redacted, as by the next time Poseidon gets close to that cart, there'll be only 2 minutes on clock. However, Redacted wants to go back to holding Poseidon in their spawn right now. I like the aggressiveness coming out from Redacted right now. They have some ultimates to use. They have a beat to get them out. They have the damage rate to try to keep Poseidon in. And look at this, Chex uses it right now, looking just to find anyone there, and Poseidon respecting it, not gonna poke their head near that door.
Yeah, I think that's a good call to stop poking your head through that door. And they make this high ground rotation knowing that both teams are just camping the bottom 2 doors of their exit. And might seem to get value from them with Foxstar really going in, maybe trying to get a Blossom.
They have the Blossom, but Turtle VP just shuts them down. Nugget also shuts down Murph, and Turtle VP finding Gecko there. King ends up killing themselves somehow. I believe we probably all know how, but it's interesting to see that on a map where I don't think you can fall off of it.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with you there. And now you have Murph again with that window. We'll probably pop it to create that space, but I'm really wondering when are they letting go of this Reaper Blossom? And I think they should do soon just to force out this beat from time.
Yeah, but honestly, they use it here. They find only the immortality field, but King keeps their team in this one. 2 straight kills, make it 3 kills for King. It's single-handedly almost flipping this team fight in their favor. Foxstar does find Turtle, and now King going after the soldier here, tries to boost jump themselves up there, but they're gonna get blocked by that disruptor shot here. However, they're still going after Nugget here, but Nugget able to escape, and now Poseidon back on that card. They do have some ultimates ready to go. However, Redacted has those same ultimates as well.
I think Boopy has to really build this deep, but no, the grab is already thrown by Gambito and Kikuchi. Nothing to protect them, and you have Turtle VP with that 4K, so 3K on the board with that 4K going on the lamp.
Yeah, you know, Turtle VP and Gambito, they're absolutely lining it up perfectly. King also used their grab in there, and they got nothing out of it. 20 seconds now left for Poseidon here to get back to that card and try to get to the final point here. Redacted, on the other hand, can feel that they're about to win their first map and tie the series up just before we head to halftime. Gecko pops their overclock, but Nugget's overclock is just a little bit better as the amplification matrix deals a lot of damage. We see Boopy trying to get back to the point right now. King falls, Murph falls, Boopy able to get back to that point. However, they only touch it for a mere second before Chex able to take care of them. Foxstar falls, and Redacted will tie this series right back up before we head into our halftime break.
Redacted doing well with tying this series up, and I think we have halftime break right now because this is the second map since we're going first to 3, if I remember right. Production has confirmed we're going to halftime after this, but if there's one thing I really commend Redacted for doing this map around is the fact that their ult rotations have been so much cleaner compared to their Oasis map, and that made so much of a difference for them because now they're holding people in spawn, making sure to only use 1 or 2 ults rather than popping all 4 ultimates. Now, before we head on to that break, for not just the casters but also for this match, we'll be putting up some updates between SEAL Team Spuds versus Reminiscence. Reminiscence is leading by 1. On the side of Cosmic Castaways versus Hammerhead, the number 10 seed is now leading at 2-0, being now at their match point. Between Joey Esports and Chicago Deep Dish, surprise, surprise, Joey Esports leading by 1. And, you know, that's it for updates on the teams playing in the other matches for today.
Yeah, so sit tight with us real quick. We're going to take a 10-minute break, let the teams kind of think about how they've played so far, regroup a little bit, and production here can take a little break as well. So make sure to stick around. Map 3 will be right back after this halftime break. right, welcome back everyone from that halftime break. A reminder, this series is tied up at 1 as Redacted was able to take Midtown against Poseidon in that last map we saw before heading to that break. However, we do know the next map will be the push map of Circuit Royale. Thea, what do you necessarily look forward to in this map, and kind of what do you think of the series so far?
I think the series so far is a lot of, I guess, based on what I've been seeing, has been an issue of ult usage and which team has the better utilization of ults and ult timings, right? You could see that Redacted got a lot of value, and what ultimately made them win Midtown was that very clean ult rotation, something that Poseidon was doing on Oasis. So based on those two maps, it seems like maybe the issue is of ult rotations. Now, when we're coming into Circuit Royale, though, that might be a very different story, because Circuit Royale as a map is designed very differently from maps like Midtown and your, King of the Hill maps. Circuit Royale is very known for those long-range sight lines with, widow fights that are likely going to happen. So you'll see teams either most likely popping that Sigma with a Widow and then the Baptiste and Zenyatta, which is something that Redacted is currently teasing us for their defense, running this very traditional Sigma composition that has been used in OWL. On the side of Poseidon, it seems like they're sticking to this Zarya composition with more focus on maybe just having at least a Widow to pressure out the enemy Widow of Redacted, which is what Poseidon might be expecting.
I mean, but look at that. Gecko immediately swaps off of that Widow, now going with the Soldier instead. Turtle VP get a stick on this Widow for Redacted here at the moment, but King already kind of getting just chunked down. They're able to get in that immortality field. They need some health though if they want to try to stay in this fight, but Nugget takes care of Murph. So now it's all up the Boopy to keep Poseidon alive, and Poseidon is now kind of stuck in a corner right now. Turtle here trying to find anyone that they possibly can. We see Gecko just slide out there with their life, but King able to get some heals here from Boopy, but Boopy gets taken out by Nugget there. Down goes King as well. Boxer able to take care of Turtle, and that's really the only thing so far you can say good for Redacted.
I mean, Boxer does get Turtle VP at the end of the day, which means that the long sideline pressure that a Widow has to offer is gone for like the next probably 10 to 15 seconds. But coming to this next fight, really no ults on the board from both sides, and you'll see Poseidon take that space right away because there is no long shot, one-shot pressure from Turtle VP, and Gecko gets that pick onto Prime right away.
Yeah, that's a huge pick for Poseidon right there. Allows him to start pushing this card up a little bit, because look at this, Redacted has to fall back without that second support there to keep some of them alive, and without that, I forget what the name of the orb is called, to keep or to throw onto any Poseidon member right now. But Turtle still trying to find anyone on that Widowmaker, kind of in an awkward spot here on the ground. But King gets incredibly low here. The Disruptor shot comes on to just try to force back the Poseidon squad, or I mean Redacted squad a little bit. But now we see the amplification mixers come out here from Redacted. Turtle VP finds Murph. Gecko comes right back and finds Prime, but look at that. The kill feed is just continuing to light up in Redacted's color.
I mean, if there's one thing Poseidon did really well, is the moment that Foxhard had picked off Turtle VP, they took all the space that they could take as a team, because there really is no hero on the side of Poseidon that could pressure out a Widowmaker. Coming up to this next fight, though, Poseidon with a lot of big ultimates. You have your Overclock, you have your Zarya Graviton Surge, and Prime is nowhere near a Transcendence to deal with that Graviton Surge. They do have these sights, the Overclock and the Flux. So it's a matter of which are we using to counter these incoming two ultimates from Poseidon as they make their push towards this point.
Yeah, Turtle trying to pop the head off of Murph there, not able to just yet, but now the Overclock comes out from Nugget, and Gambito pops their Graviton Flux, doesn't find anything with it yet, neither does Nugget's Overclock, but now we see the grab come out from Poseidon. It captures 4 members of Redacted, and they're not able to kill anyone yet either. Now we're starting to see some kills come out. 2 to Poseidon, 1 to Redacted right now, but Poseidon trying to stay in this fight. They need to take care of this Sigma right now. Boxar, though, does take care of Prime. That's a nice kill. Down goes Nugget as well, and finally Gambito falls. That should allow Poseidon here to get to this first point.
And I I think the swap of Foxheart from a Reaper to a Genji does a lot of wonders against the DPS of Redacted, right? And just the map design of Circuit Royale. The wall climb of Genji just provides a lot of verticality and just be able to attack Redacted, who will situate themselves in this high ground as Poseidon make this cart push around the U-turn. And with no ult in the bank except for that Genji blade, I think they could push this all the way. Especially there's nothing to counter this Genji blade except pure focus fire.
Yeah, and you see Foxheart looking for it. Here comes the blade. Nugget, though, does find Gecko, but we do see Foxheart find Turtle VP. Now they just have to find someone else here. However, the kills continue to go the way of Redacted instead of the way of Poseidon. A nice kind of play there by Redacted. Yeah, Turtle lost their life for it, but look at this. They continue just to clean up this team fight.
Yeah, I think the moment Foxheart pulled out the Genji blade and decided who his target was, which happened to be Turtle VP. Turtle VP knew that the best way to at least help his team was to get himself farther away from his team so that if he gets swiped by the Genji, he doesn't, the dash reset that comes with it is so far before Foxheart can get value and kill someone else. And by the time he gets back up, he just gets dinked by Prime. Coming to this next fight, you do have this window from Chesky, which is going to provide so much space for Redacted as Poseidon make this push unless Nugget kills Gecko.
Yeah, look at that. Nugget already finds Gecko like right there, like you said, but King able to find Prime there. Now here comes the flux from Gambito. They find one in the air. They get one there on the spike, and they punch King there to death. Now they're going after Foxheart. They're trying to get them, but Nugget is able just to take that kill away from them. And Redacted doing a really good job so far holding Poseidon here.
And honestly, quite a cost-efficient, ult-efficient fight, right? Only using the overclock and that flux. Now, you see that Chesky still has this window, which is great for, you know, keeping space and or just taking back space. Now, I'm not sure they have anything ready for this Graviton Surge, so they're going to have to be a bit split from each other just so that King doesn't get as much value.
But here comes the grab. It's still in front of that damage matrix, which could be huge. Nugget finds Foxer. They each get rid of the immortality fields. Gecko, though, pops the overclock. Does find one. Nugget comes right back to find Murph. So pretty much an even fight at the moment. King, though, finds Nugget. Gambino comes right back and finds Gecko as well. So just trades going back and forth each way right now. Booby takes care of Gambino. And now we finally start to see Poseidon start to push the card again. However, they only have a minute to go. They do have 2 ultimates ready to go, however.
Yeah, and in that same time, Turtle does have this Pulse Bomb, which would be great maybe for forcing out a lamp from Murph or for forcing out Beat from Boopy, but apparently it doesn't stick to anyone, and they're gonna have to go into this fight with just a Transcendence.
Yeah, and King takes care of VP right now. This Transcendence is going to have to be huge for them, but Nugget is also really close to their own overclock. But King, again, just is able to take out a member of this Redacted squad. Here comes the Transcendence, so has to keep them alive here, especially since they lost that immortality field right now. Prime running into that background, wants to take care of Murph, but instead they lose the fight themselves. Gecko takes care of Chesky there. Now they're going after Gambito. Gecko also takes care of them. This should be second point for Poseidon here, unless Redacted wants to try just to throw bodies at point. However, that won't necessarily matter. A minute and a half is all Poseidon has now, going on to the last part of this push here.
Yep, and you'll see Turtle VP make that swap to the Cassidy, probably try to pressure out Foxheart a bit better compared to, you know, playing a Widow or a Tracer, right? So, coming to this next fight though, Poseidon does have the Genji Blade, which there really isn't anything to answer it with Prime having used, I guess, the Beat. I mean, who had just swapped, actually, to the Lucio. So there really is no answer to a Blade, maybe except the clean full focus fire and just splitting up from a team so that Foxer doesn't get as much value. You see Gambino trying to figure out whether to Blade or when not to Blade. Oh, never mind, he's dead.
Gambino shuts down the Blade with a rock of all things. Now they pop their Graviton Flux. The Beat comes out mid-air from Boopy to keep them alive, so no one falls to that one now. But still, the rocks are huge from Gambino. The grab comes out from King. Gecko takes care of the 2 that were caught in it. Now they're just trying to clean up the last remaining stragglers for Redacted, and they do just that. However, that will not be the point for them just yet. They have a lot of members on card. It will get really, really close, but I don't think they'll be able to full cap the map just yet.
I mean, you see Nugget set up for overclock, and it's just a matter of who else can touch point except for him, and that's take on the Boopy is such dramatic.
Yeah, that's huge for them, but Turtle VP comes right back. Chesky finds Murph, and they're flipping this point around. And with that kill right there might not be an overtime period, and there is not going to be much like Midtown. We see Poseidon Poseidon get held there just before the full map, before they're able to cap the full map, just like Redacted did on Midtown.
Exactly. And the thing about that is, right, you think that because so many of the picks happen at that corner that Poseidon part in. Well, if you looked at the ultimate bank of Redacted, oh no. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good now.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, there we go. I was going to say that, if you look at it ult bank wise, when Poseidon was making that last push, they only had Gecko's overclock, I think, and nothing else. On the side of Redacted, they had Nugget's overclock. They had the window for Chesky. All Nugget had to do was pop overclock early, hopefully get maybe a pick or two, right, before he died, because that just gives so much time for the rest of his team to come back and for Chesky to pop that window, which Turtle VP as the Cassidy got so much value right away. So, at the end of the day, Poseidon's push gets stopped just for, you know, good, I guess, communication, as I hope, of how to stall the point. And coming to this fight, Poseidon is showing that they're still going to run the Zarya composition with that tweak of running a Genji, probably expecting another Widowmaker from the side of Redacted.
And we do see some last-second swaps are coming out from Redacted. We do see Turtle stay on that Widowmaker just for the moment. Nugget, though, was teasing us with another character. Does come out on the Soldier, and kind of expected that from them here. We saw them use it a lot that defense as well. The Disruptor shot is huge for them right there, but Gambito falls early as King Zarya has just kind of been a problem for them all series. However, it has gone back and forth here much recently, but Turtle finds one. Nugget comes right back, finds King. Now Turtle's looking for this Baptiste, just sitting in the corner. Gonna try to get a nice aerial shot here. Will land on the ground, but finally we see Murph fall there, and a nice, clean team fight win there by Redacted.
Nice team fight win, and just from looking at the ultimates, you know which team had done significantly more damage in that initial fight. Yes, King Kushi higher in ult charge compared to Gambino, but Nugget is way ahead of Gecko with that overclock, and that would be such a good ultimate to have coming onto this next fight. If he can build towards it, he's already at 87%.
Yeah, and look at this. They have two members of Poseidon here just sitting behind a corner trying not to die here. However, Foxart is the one that takes care of Nugget. Now they're going after Turtle. Turtle tries to run away, but not able to as Foxart is there now. They have their sights on their next target. It is Prime, but King able to take care of them there. And Poseidon has done a good job of pretty much stabilizing this point right now as Gecko takes care of Chesky there, and now they're going after Gambito.
I mean, the lucky kill on to, well, not really lucky. I think it was just a smart kill onto Nugget. Noticing where Nugget was just holding the same angle to deal with the two players of Poseidon who were stuck, but Turtle VP manages to get Murph, and that's what's gonna ruin the plans of Poseidon to even hold this corner.
Yeah, Poseidon might throw up a little bit of a fight here, but I don't know if that'll be the smartest thing for them to do, and it does look like they're just gonna kind of fall back and try to regroup here, realize this first point is lost. Boopy does have that beat if they want to try to do something here late. However, we do see Foxart comes in. King is out, Murph is out as already, but look at that Nugget. 2 kills with that overclock and a team kill to cap the first point for Redacted.
Honestly, massive window from Chesky on the side of Redacted. That was assists that just cleaned up the point for Redacted and makes them get significantly more time to push this car past, I guess, the first part of the U-turn. And ooh, that's a big ballsy window from Murph, considering there was a window holding that angle.
Yeah, and I really like Redacted here. We saw this a little bit last map as well. They're being a little bit aggressive, trying to get as much space on that car as they possibly can, but Foxart is able to take care of Turtle. Nugget comes right back and takes care of Foxart. Turtle now just trying to poke out some damage. They're looking to get Gecko, and they do get Gecko. Here comes the Flux from Gambito. They spike Boopy into a grave, and Nugget able to take care of King there as Redacted realizes they forgot the card and now continue to push it.
I mean, if you're holding your enemy team at like their spawn at this rate, it's okay to leave the card a bit. But I think right now having 3 on it just to move it faster would be something very important, considering Poseidon is coming back in with 4 ultimates and Redacted only have this Transcendence to deal with all the incoming ults. But that pick on the Gecko might actually be huge because it left a number of ults available.
Gambito eats King's grab. That's a huge play coming out from Gambito. No grab for Poseidon essentially means this point is pretty much lost unless something amazing happens, but they continue to lose members. Fox are doing their best here to try to take care of one, but they do that. However, Nugget takes care of Foxard right back, and Redacted has capped the second point. Over 4 minutes now to go, only 91 meters.
I mean, it is 4 minutes, and I've always said like this third point of Circuit Royale, the moment you get it past that Salon Grace arch, it's so much harder for, I guess, the defenders, I guess, to keep like the enemy team in check, especially once they take this high ground. Redacted opting to already take the high ground from them and pressure them from on high, which makes it so hard to do for a Zarya composition because there's nothing to block off the damage from the high road.
Talk about a player that has been absolutely on one this match. It has been Nugget. Boxer, though, does find Turtle. However, Redacted getting very, very close now. They're in the home stretch. They can see the map when in their sights. Here comes the blade from Foxart. Finds Chesky there. Here comes the Transcendence from Prime to keep their team alive, but Murph does take care of Gambito, and this will be really the first fallback we've seen from Redacted since just before the first point was capped.
I feel like the Transcendence from Prime was completely unnecessary unless they were making a swap, which seems to be the case that they are doing this time around. Because personally, you have that Transcendence, you lost 2 people already at the start, you were only coming back from spawn. You might as well save it for the next fight. But the fact they're going for this Lucio means they want to brawl it out a bit more. I think after Gambito uses this Flux, he will probably swap.
Flux comes out, beat comes out from Poseidon. However, Gambito still finds Murph, Turtle finds Boopy, and the kills just continue to come for Redacted. 4 straight for them. Only 1 member of Poseidon left on that cart. King there, fighting for their lives, ends up killing themselves right there. It's a team kill. It might just be the map for Redacted here. Poseidon's gonna have to rush some people out there right now, but we're looking at it right now. They have to get out there fast. We see Foxtrot able to get back, and here comes the cavalry for Poseidon. It's gonna be a little bit of a scrappy team fight, a trade going out each way. Gambito puts Redacted back in favor here, at least in the numbers way, but Fox are doing whatever they can to keep their team in as well. King also popping off, finds 2, Turtle VP though, finds Boopy, but now it's just a 1v3, and Poseidon will be able to hold here.
Poseidon very patient on how they wanted to retake that point, right? Wait for all 5 and make sure there's only one person touches the card just so that overtime can be triggered. And in that case, that was Foxhard with a really clean bubble from King, which inevitably builds him towards this Zarya charge, because now they have this overclock. Redacted doesn't really have anything to answer back with it, and the only thing they can do right now is set up Turtle to this high ground to get maybe massive value from this high noon.
Yeah, that high noon's gonna have to be huge. Here comes the overclock from Gecko. This one has to be huge as well. They need to at least find one pick with it. They chunk Nugget down, and Fox are able to take care of them there. Now we just saw Turtle have that kind of the advantage point that you kind of want. They do find one. King, a mistake there again, ends up finding themselves. Foxer, though, now has to keep their team in this game. Here comes the high noon from Turtle. It has 2 members in its sight, doesn't find either one of them. Foxer living on a hope and a thread. Now it's up to Gecko, but they fall as well. Here comes the Poseidon swap. King swapping off the Zarya now. I don't think they used their grab that team fight, so they just lost the grab, but they had to make that swap there. They're already getting D-Mech. Boopy falls. It's up to King now. They fall as well. Here comes the blade from Foxart. It needs to be huge. They take care of the immortality field. Nugget finds them though. Gecko swapping over to the soldier, finds Prime. Turtle VP takes care of Gecko, and Redacted will take Circuit Royale and put themselves on series point.
Match point for Redacted with that, I guess, resilient last showing on their last fight, right? You said that I think it was King who might have used the beat and then swap, grab and swap. He had actually used it at the high ground, where the initial fight was, and ultimately lost. And unfortunately, that means that in order for Poseidon to even have a chance to continue their, lower bracket run, which has been looking well for them, they have to win this next push map. And, given the different push maps, you have a general idea of what the team might be comfortable with based on which push map they select.
But I mean, honestly, if we go back and look at that map overall, Redacted had such a great offense and an even better defense, but Poseidon came out of the gate a little bit slow there. And we have to remember, Poseidon only had a minute and a half to push the cart on that final point. Redacted, on the other hand, had over 4 minutes. Redacted came out of the gate fast on offense, and Poseidon, it took them a team fight or two before they were able to finally get anything going their way there. So the only thing I have to say for Poseidon going into this next map, you need to start off fast. You cannot start off slow going into a push map.
Oh yeah, exactly. And the thing with push maps also is they tend to be brawlier, so you really have to go fast. But before we go into that fourth map, some updates from the matches happening in Discord tier. SEAL Team Spuds versus Reminiscence is finally done, with Rem taking a 3-0 against SEAL Team Spuds. On the side of Cosmic Castaways versus Hammerhead, Hammerhead is fighting back with a 2-1 score in favor of Cosmic. They've taken one map. Joey Esports versus Chicago Deep Dish, the number 5 seed beats the number 1 seed in their division with a 3-0 score in favor of Joey Esports. Finally, you also have MI7 versus Doodles, which had just started with a dub first from MI7. Finally, you have a 2-1 scoreline between F214 and Hades, and a 1-1 of Adelaide Esports versus Ragnarok Loki.
Yeah, so it seems like a lot of competitive series so far throughout the night, other than that one that was a 3-0 sweep. But looks like a lot of competitive series going on now in the rest of, I believe this is the Discord tier right now. So, you know, it shows you how competitive this tier is right now. There are so many close matches. Even the one that we're kind of watching here, it has been close all the way through. But we do know the push map that we'll be going to. It is Esperanza coming out here. Poseidon picks it here. You have to believe this is a map they feel like they can win, especially with their backs up against the wall. Heck, not even their backs. There's season at stake here.
Oh, definitely. And I think if there's something that's really great about Esperanza as a map compared to something like Colosseo, is that first fight on the bot, on who takes it, doesn't really happen on the bot normally, right? It happens on the other open areas, and there's a lot of off angles that you can take that aren't as risky to do in Esperanza compared to a map like Colosseo. And to an extent, maybe something like New Queen Street. I think a lot of people have New Queen Street and Colosseo as the map that they would like to avoid for a push map. I think a lot of teams essentially just go to Esperanza just because it's so much easier to understand as a map. Except for the health packs. I have my biggest gripe with Esperanza is literally where are the health packs most of the time. They feel like they are so out of the way for where normal team fights happen.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised we're seeing Esperanza here. You talk about this is a map that we see a lot. However, most of the games I cast, I see Colosseo more often than this.
Really?
Than Esperanza. Yeah, a lot of teams seem to like Colosseo a little bit better. But you are absolutely right. The one difference between this map and the other two push maps is that the initial team fight doesn't happen around the bot. It instead happens just off away from the bot here. These other two maps, you see him fight around the bot, try to use the bot for cover, the barriers for cover. But this map, like you said, there's that wide open space right next to the bot. That's normally where you do see the initial team fight happen.
Yeah, I think it's the courtyard where the fight ends up happening, because if you have control of that courtyard, it makes it so much easier to, protect whoever is situated in your high ground to stay safe. And I think the initial high ground in Esperanza is such a crucial place to be able to sit at as maybe a hit scan player like a Sojourn. And coming out of the gates, both teams mirror matchup. This is the first time we're seeing an actual mirror matchup for today. And this is going to just show who probably has a better macro understanding of the composition that they are running.
Yeah, and honestly, right now, each team is trying to find that first pick, wait for the other one to make a mistake, but Gambito finds Gecko out here early in favor of Redacted at the moment, but Foxart comes right back, evens out only for a moment, though, before Turtle puts it back into the favor of Redacted, and now they start to push the card. However, King on this Zarya, they have been excellent so far this entire series, just melting people down, and they find Prime. Now, they're going after Nugget or Shesky here, and they are forcing them back a little bit, and they are highly charged as well, so those orbs they're throwing out are absolutely deadly. King or Nugget here has to just slide away to keep themselves alive, but it looks like the rest of Redacted is coming back into this one.
Exactly, that's what I mean, because Gambito was the first one to die on the side of Redacted. Chesky and Nugget just have to slowly back off towards where their Zarya is going to spawn, and to like clutch him out with a bubble and probably melt King, which is what ended up happening. Gambito comes back, King gets melted, and now they have free cart bot push because there is no Zarya to pressure out Gambito right now.
Yeah, King trying their hardest here. They do pop the grab, actually. They are able only to take care of that immortality field before they find Gambito there. But now Turtle comes back, finds Murph. Foxard with his own slice finds Prime. So one support down from each of the Lucio, or from each of the Genjis there. But Foxard finally wins the battle of the Genjis there. Takes care of Turtle. And now Poseidon here looking to get that bot back to the barrier and take this lead.
Chesky actually popped the window in that fight, hoping to help out his team with additional damage and healing from the off angle, but it really wasn't enough, especially with that Graviton Surge and a lot of focus from Poseidon. But they are now a full 5 going into this next fight, and they're probably gonna fight at this bot before Poseidon can get any more progress.
Well, Poseidon does take the lead here, but here comes the overclock from Nugget. Takes care of that immortality field first. Turtle finds King. Nugget finds Murph. They're looking for more. They have more in their sights. However, Turtle finds Gecko. Fox are doing their damnedest here to keep their team in this one. They're able to only find a couple more kills there before we see Redacted come right back and clean the side of Poseidon off the map and now begin to re-push the bot.
And that was a very cheap fight on the side of Redacted, right? You only had to use Nugget's overclock, and on the side of Poseidon, you know, nothing utilized, which is pretty good, right? You forced out an ult from Redacted, but Redacted really needed that ult to take back space.
Yeah, Gecko here pops the overclock, and look at that, Redacted all just kind of backs up, trying not to get taken out by it, but Foxstar takes care of Gambito. The grab comes out from Gambito there, but it doesn't find anyone yet. Turtle pops the blade. Also, the beat comes out from Redacted as well, but however, that does not keep them in this fight. King takes care of Turtle there. Murph takes care of Shesky. King comes right back on Nugget. We do see one kill coming out from Redacted, but Poseidon able to take that kill right back, and now they begin to push the barrier yet again.
That felt like some GOAT's meta level of ult usage or trades. You had seen a Graviton Surge come from the side of Redacted in order to pressure out Poseidon, but then beats come out, blades come out, and at the end of the day, Poseidon just gets more value and they get this additional push. Now, because Redacted are now regrouped, and I think Poseidon lost a few members in that previous fight, they have to back off and give this bot back to Redacted. But now with this 5v5, it's a matter of when is Murph going to pop this window to help his team get value.
And look at that, Murph pops the window just as you said it. King takes care of Gambito. Down goes the immortality field as well, and King absolutely charged up here, but doesn't have a lot in that health pool. However, they get some healing back up. Gecko's able to take care of Turtle. King finds Prime, and now Poseidon looks to continue pushing this bot to further their lead right now, trying to take care of Shesky here, and this will be a nice stagger. And look at this, a nice play coming out as well. They don't kill him right away, and now that forces an even bigger stagger as the bot will come to its first kind of stopping point.
Yeah, first stopping point goes to Poseidon, but with 5 minutes left on the time, like more 5.5 minutes left on this map, I think there's still time for Redacted to get this bot back and retake point, unless this Graviton Surge from King happens.
Yeah, but King pops that one. Nothing comes from it. Both immortality fields come out early, and they're both gone. Gambito falls first, but the Nugget with their overclocks here have been able to find at least a kill every time they do it. It does find one before they find their own death themselves, but Trey's going back before the even fight before Shesky comes right back with 2 kills to give Redacted control of that bot.
Support line of Redacted just showing that besides providing support, they're there to frag out once their teammates, you know, die in the process, but get everyone else on Poseidon way below HP levels. But coming to this next fight, you know, they're down. They just want to make sure that Poseidon doesn't have the better spawn, right? Again. So now that they're regrouped, there's this next fight. So Poseidon has more ult. So you see Gecko popping his overclock at this ult.
Yeah, Gecko not finding anything with that overclock. Has actually kind of struggled this entire series to find anything when they pop the overclock. They did find 1 kill last time they used it, but now Foxart in a very, very bad spot. Prime takes care of them, takes care of Boopy as well. Gambito takes care of Murph, and this should allow Redacted here to start pushing this barrier. Again, a nice play there by Prime to take care of Gecko, and a team kill will definitely allow them to start pushing this barrier yet again. If it will get to that first resting spot is all up to whether or not Redacted is able to kind of hold off Poseidon here.
I mean, Redacted has to take that space and hold that spot. Someone does have to make sure they're not taking the rotate from the Mega and like flank on Chesky. And here we have Chesky doing his job, capping the point for the team, and now they have 4 ultimates on the bank into this 4 ultimates by Poseidon, and Boopy pops the beast very early.
And the beat, the grab comes out. Now the beat comes out from both sides. The Death Blossom comes out from Turtle. It's a little bit better than the Blade from Foxer as it finds 2 members. Prime finds a 3rd, Gambito finds a 4th, and now they continue to push the card. But look at this, King is actually on the point right now, harassing Chesky. They're able to take him down. However, that will only be for a moment as King, yet again, ends up just accidentally killing himself.
I mean, the play really is, right? You know that only one person is pushing the bot normally, right? And as a Zarya, if in the Zarya mirror, like, you shouldn't really be trying to pressure out the Zarya. Your goal is to maybe like pressure out something that's very squishy and just ignore the Zarya and hope your team just survives through all of it. And with losing their backpiece player, Redacted has opted to back off just a bit.
Grab comes out from King. Immortality field down. This needs to be huge for Poseidon here, but Nuggets overclock finds 1. Finds 2. They're looking for a 3rd. They don't find a 3rd, but eventually Turtle will take care of King. Nugget finds Murph just after that overclock ends, and Turtle takes care of Boopy for another team kill in favor of Redacted, and they just continue to push that bot now as we near 2 minutes left to go.
Nugget and Chesky really on the same page when it comes to these overclock windows, always getting some form of value with them. And coming to the sex fight, though, Redacted really doesn't have any ultimates. And Poseidon, they do have this overclock from Gecko, but as you said, Gecko has been struggling just a bit with getting value with these overclocks. So it's a matter of how do we enable Gecko to get value from these overclocks.
You can't get value out of it when you fall early. Turtle takes care of 1, takes care of a 2nd. Gambito also taking care of 2, make it a 3rd. And it's another team kill here for Redacted as they look to end this map here and now. They can see it. The bot is on its final home stretch. Gambito has the grab here. They pop it as they come out of spawn, and the kills all lighting up in Redacted's color. Murph, though, does take care of Turtle. It might be a turning point, but they need more than just 1 kill. King, though, comes right back out and finds Chesky. But finally, King goes down. Gambito, the one to do that. They find Murph. The beat now coming out from Prime to keep Redacted alive in this one. 3 members of Poseidon on that bot right now, just trying to stop him. They're trying to get booped off. Nugget takes care of Gecko. King comes back out on the Doomfist. It is really desperation picks now for Poseidon. Their season hangs in the balance. They take care of Prime, though. Nugget finds Fox and King trying to do their best, and they're able to take care of Nugget there. There's 1 member of Redacted on that point. It is Turtle. They eventually fall there, and King will now go back to spawn and swap off of Doomfist and go back to a hero that makes a lot more sense.
I mean, you do have the Doom for the stall, and he did get value with that stall, displacing people and just making it so much harder for him to get hit and for Redacted to get value. But now they have to deal with these 2 DPS ultimates from Redacted, and that's gonna be such a struggle, especially when none of their supports have any ults in the back dealing.
Look at that, they already dealt with 1 there. Turtle popped their Death Blossom there, did not find anything, actually find death instead. Nugget now, they've been on him with these overclocks. 1, 2 kills already. King trying their hardest to keep their team in this one. It's about to go into overtime, but with King falling there, that's pretty much gonna do it. I don't think there's anyone for Poseidon around the point, and that will do it. Redacted will take Esperanza and the series and be moving on in the playoffs.
Redacted just showing that, you know, they, back in the regular season, I think they managed to beat it. It might have been Joey Esports, and they've been saying they've been overlooked, right, as a really good team. And this goes to show that, you know, maybe we shouldn't be overlooking that, and that they may actually make us really solid lower bracket run and get their spot back on the championships bracket, even though they have to go through the lower bracket instead of the upper bracket. Now, Poseidon, really good showings here and there, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, one of these teams has to go, and for Poseidon, it had to be them.
Yeah, Poseidon put up a hell of a fight in this series. There were a lot of points in all the maps that Poseidon looked like they could potentially pull that map out and win it. However, they just weren't really able to get anything together after that map of Oasis there. Remember, Redacted was the one that actually picked that map, but they lost it. And after that, Poseidon just never necessarily had a really good footing in any of the other maps, whether it was a slow start as we saw on Circuit Royale, or just a little bit of a couple mistakes coming out on New Queen Street, or no, my bad, Midtown. Just, they weren't ever really able to get their footing right in any of the maps, it really seemed. And it just seemed like Redacted was kind of able to respond really, really well to whatever Poseidon kind of threw at them.
I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of clutch potential from the side of Redacted that saves them in the end. I think just having ults for that OT fights that turned it in their favor, and just smart overall gameplay on how do we recontest the point with what we have.
Yeah, but you talked about Redacted dropping down into the lower bracket. They've lost their first series in that upper bracket, so they had to make a run here in that lower bracket. They do a good job keeping that run alive right now, beating Redacted here. We'll be moving on to the next match. So you see match number 18 as they take on the loser of match 10. I don't remember what match that is, but it will be one of the teams from the upper bracket that is coming down to play them.
Yeah, and I think that might be whoever lost between Reminiscence versus... Oh no, it's whoever loses between Galactic Gibbons versus Avalon, which right now on the scoreline, they are 1-1. So that's also a pretty close match. You also have Cosmic Castaways in versus Hammerhead, which is happening in the lower bracket too. That's hitting a map 5 with Hammerhead attempting what may potentially be a reverse sweep against Cosmic Castaways. MI7 versus Doodles has just started, and they are now 2-0 in favor of MI7. And finally, F214 versus Hades match has finished with F214 taking the dub. And Adelaide Esports on match point against Loki with a 2-1 scoreline. Oh, it just got updated. Hammerhead, unable to do the reverse sweep, has conceded have finished their chances in Tranquility, with Cosmic Castaways winning 3-2 over Hammerhead.
What an upset from that series right there. Hammerhead's out. They were a 3 seed. Cosmic Castaways were a 10 seed. However, we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back. We might be going into another series here, but just hold on a quick moment here as we take a short break. All right, welcome back everyone, and do we have a treat for you? We're gonna hop into another match here. This time we're going to the upper bracket as we see Avalon here with one map win already, taking on the Galactic Gibbons here, who already are on series point right now. Now, a good thing about this match here is the winner of this one, actually no, the loser of this one will go on to see the winner that we saw earlier tonight, Redacted. But let's look at the score history so far through this one so we can kind of update you on what's going on here. Avalon took the first map of Oasis, but have not won a map since, and now we'll be heading back to Esperanza again on what could be potentially the last map of this series.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. This looks like the scoreline of our previous game, right? 2-1 in favor of I think Poseidon, and then they go to Midtown, and then somehow the other team wins it, and then the escort map's different, obviously, right? But then similar-ish scores, and now we're just deja vu. Here we are. We're going to a map 4 in Esperanza all over again.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit in the break there, that we're just going to see this deja vu here in this series as well. Galactic sitting on that match point right now, and like you said, 2-1 in the first map, 1-2 in the second map, and it was a 3-2 scoreline in the third map as well in our previous game, but now in this one, it's the same thing all over again. And maybe we might see a little bit of a difference here with Avalon maybe potentially being able to take Esperanza here and force the map 5.
I mean, that would be an interesting story to have if it does happen, but before we go into that map, just a few more updates for scores. Adelaide Esports versus Ragnarok Loki, ultimately is a win for Adelaide Esports at 3-1, making a successful lower bracket run so far. Now on the side of MI7 versus Doodles, they are at match point with MI7 leading 2-0.
Yeah, that would be an upset there if that scoreline does hold out with MI7 winning. They are the 6th seed, while Doodles is the 2 seed. It'd be kind of surprising to see a team that had a bye in the first round immediately drop down to the lower bracket after their first game being played, but MI7 doesn't necessarily care at this moment. They're looking to try to do that right now to Doodles.
I mean, they definitely are, and both of these teams, I think if we look at the side of the Aurum division in the upper bracket for Discord tier, all the matches today are between players who were in the same pool for their stage 2. So they're really meant to be going up against each other, and that these are the best of the best within their own Aurum division. So ultimately, whoever comes out, just, you know, it's payback time for some of them.
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like we should be getting into Esperanza here. Now, Avalon, we've talked about it a little bit here. They're on, backs are against the wall here. However, it's not like a lot like we saw in the last series there, where it's not their seasons, it's just their upper bracket one. And you want to try to stay in that upper bracket as long as you possibly can. You don't want to be knocked down to that lower bracket, especially with there being 2 more rounds in that lower bracket before you even make it to the lower bracket finals.
I mean, definitely. And like, if you win your upper bracket match right now, you are guaranteed a seat at the championship bracket one way or another. It really depends if you have a bye week during the championship run or not.
Yeah, but I feel like we should be getting in here any moment right now. Do you have any experience with these two teams? Because I don't necessarily know a lot about either of these two teams coming into this one.
I think I may have casted these teams back in stage 2, which is like super funny that I am back here again with these teams. Avalon is probably very new to the Tranquility scene. Galactic Gibbons, on the other hand, is the sister team of Galactic Penguins, who was in Tranquility last season. This is their first time in the Discord here, but with familiar names of players on their teams. They do have people like Widowmane, also known as Syme, as their hit scan player. You have Nagisa, who very huge staple in the Tranquility community. I think has been around probably since season 3 or season 4. And then you also have people like Sticko, who has been a really solid off tank. You have players who come from Harmony tier, have done well in the past season and moved up to Discord tier and have been showing their stuff. And as you can see coming into this map, I don't think Sticko is gonna be on the hog. Sticko, I am going to get mad if you're coming out on the hog. Now on the side of Avalon, they're going for a Reinhardt composition with a Kiriko Lucio backline, and oh my gosh, no way, Sticko's going off for the hog.
Dicko coming out and immediately making you mad. I kind of like to see it. Avalon, though, coming out with a kind of a much more stable comp. Gibbons, on the other hand, looks like they want to try to get these early picks off. And we're not seeing Gibbons actually go to try to fight Avalon in that little area beside the bot. They want to bring that fight to the bot instead.
I think because they don't really have anyone who wants the high ground except for like Amor over here. So they want to brawl it out, especially with this very tanky, heavy pick potential Roadhog that Sticko is on.
Yeah, but Colossus already able to find Widow main there. That's a great start here for Avalon as they need this map to prolong the series right now. And they're doing a good job just forcing Gibbons here to fall back a little bit. But Colossus sends that Fire Strike straight into a street pull. They're not getting a lot of value out of that one. However, just pressing W is seeming to be the most value they're getting out of anything.
I mean, they also left the bot for a while as they were pushing up, which isn't too bad, right? But now that you have Galactic Gibbons grouping up, you have Widow main switching over to this Genji, realizing the Reaper might not get as much value. The pick potential of a Genji from the off angle is like super great, especially against the Reinhardt.
Yeah, they have to use that Suzu there to keep Colossus alive, and it works wonders. Zasper comes right back out and finds Amor, and yet they're forgetting about the bot again. Now they finally have someone. Their Sticko finally gets something on this Hog. They have to hit the redo there to stay alive, but it doesn't matter as the Shatter just stops them from getting that help, and it's a nice team fight win here from the Avalon squad. Widowmain trying to do their best here, but it's in a losing effort.
I think, honestly, at this moment, this seems like a very heavy tank differential in terms of like which tank you're running. As much as we would love to see a Hog get value, right? I think with the current support lineup of Galactic Gibbons, I don't think the Hog is going to be heavily enabled, but they will re-engage with this Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, dueling Kitsune Rush is coming out here. Ultimates go alongside, but nothing finding value of yet. But Sticko is the first one to find anything. Mad gets the headshot there onto the payload to give them some advantage. It's 2 members down already for Avalon. This is the Galactic Gibbons' first real sign of life this map. 2 more kills going their way, and they finally have the bot back in their control.
I think if they get, and I don't think anyone died in that fight of theirs, so they're coming into the next fight with 3 ultimates, and Lost Sauce is probably holding on to the speed to deal with the incoming Genji Blade from Widowmain, and I think it's the same for them. Great pick from Amor onto the payload, which means that just staggers the push of Avalon even further, especially a Reaper that is great at just melting down this Roadhog. Now, now you have the Blade coming out from Widowmain.
Yeah, the Blade, he's kind of just looking around, not finding a lot. Zasper pops their Blade as well. They're able to find at least one with it. They're going for a second, but won't find a second one there. Colossus, though, does find Widowmain. Mad falls as well by that hammer of Colossus, and it does look like Avalon will be able to stay in control of this bot. Actually, no, retake the bot away from Galactic Gibbons.
Well, at least Avalon still has to hit this next buff scratch in order for them to get their better spawns. But right now you see Galactic Gibbons grouping up, which is very necessary in any push map. You shouldn't be contesting these points alone. Ideally, you go with someone or with the whole team. And coming to this next fight, there is no ult on the side of Avalon except for this Shatter. Amor holding on to this overclock, which we will probably pop this next fight, but he has to be wary of the Shatter.
But no, the Shatter comes out. The Suzu used to keep him more alive. Now here comes the overclock from them. It needs to be huge. They're looking for heads. They're looking for anything, but Sticko is the one who's finding stuff. Widowmain is actually able to find something as well. But, you know, just that ultimate being used there by Amor bought them enough kind of a distraction there for the rest of their team to start cleaning up kills.
I think that was a great read from the side of Mad in terms of responding to that incoming Shatter of Colossus. And I think maybe that's ultimately why they are still holding on to this Kiriko as opposed to maybe something that could provide a bit more pick potential or enable the pick potential of the Hog. The Suzu is really great at removing issues from a stun. Widowmain managed to get Zasper, which is such a huge play from the side of Galactic Gibbons.
And now here comes the Kitsune Rush from Galactic Gibbons here. 1, 2, 3, make it 4 members, make it 5 as the team kill there for them. It won't be counted as one, but they were able to kill the entirety of Avalon there. However, they're still a decent amount away from that first butt scratch. I wonder if we're going to see a contest come out from Avalon.
I think with how far Avalon have to respawn, I doubt there's going to be any contest soon, especially if Galactic Gibbons take this bit of space to move up and pressure them. But I don't think they realize that Avalon wants to rotate from the Mega side, and that's such a great read from Avalon.
But Widowmane pops the blade here, finds one right off the bat, has to use the deflect there, but it uses it to great success. They're able to get lost sauce. Their Sticko finds Colossus there, and now Galactic just needs to clean up the remaining members of Avalon, and they have got to that first butt scratch.
Galactic Gibbons, they push up. They realize that Avalon isn't pushing through this the push bot space, and realize, hey, they're moving through Mega. We need to rotate towards them. And for Widowmane, that just means I know where I am supposed to blade. And now Zasper's building up toward his blade, and Clem has used this beat of his, which means they are super ready for this incoming blade from Zasper.
Scatter comes out from Colossus. I don't think it hits anyone though, so a wasted ultimate, and look at this, 3, 4, 5 kills going the way of Galactic. That will give him a team kill, and more importantly, it will give him the lead.
I think what ended up happening more than anything is Colossus did shatter, but then Mad was like, presence of mind had Suzu was not shattered, just Suzu's everyone who gets shattered. And that makes so much of a difference, because that Suzu cleanses the fact that you are shattered. And coming to this next fight, Avalon does have this beat and blade, so you might as well blade this next fight considering there is no beat on the side of Galactic Gibbons. Galactic Gibbons realizing this just push back, and that's a missed hook.
Yeah, but here comes the blade. Actually, I think the hook was deflected there. However, the blade finds nothing. Payload is able to take care of Widowmane and Sticko, and we're starting to see Avalon sort of get some momentum going back their way right now. However, again, they kind of forgot the bot there for a moment. Now they're back on it. They have to get another about 21 meters to retake the lead here. And we do see at the moment Galactic does have that forward advantage spawn, but Payload finds Amor out. That's a huge pick for Avalon.
Yeah, the Payload knew that Amor was still alive. Name did not appear in the kill feed, and that means they know where they were playing based on where they were poking out. Now, coming to this next fight, you have this all results.
Beat comes out, Kasuni Rush comes out, Payload finds Widowmane. They're trying to get anyone else down. Sticko gets low, but it hits that rebreather to keep themselves alive. Nothing really coming from that Kasuni Rush right now, but the Avalon Kasuni Rush is actually finding some value at the moment. However, they are able to hook in Colossus, who swaps over to the Zarya here. Zasper's disrupting shot finds one, and the cleanup from Avalon here is huge. It is a nice cleanup from them. I don't know if they'll be able to take the lead just yet, with Widowmane going to be trying to stall this one out, but it'll be very, very close.
I think it would be very close, and Amor just needs to regroup with them in order so that no one gets picked off. He does get Lavender in the process.
Yeah, but they're also able to escape with their life as well. The hook coming out from Sticko is huge. Down goes the Reaper. Widowmane takes care of the other DPS of Zasper now, and we see down goes Colossus, down goes Lost Sauce. 2 minutes now left for Avalon to try to retake this lead, and Galactic Gibbons now will have to deal with the forward spawn coming out from Avalon, but are now in control of the bot yet again.
I mean, they are in control of the... And coming to this next fight, there is that Graviton surge from Colossus, and they do have a beat to answer back to it, and I think that would be great.
Yeah, but here comes the beat. The blade from Widow is huge. Also, the whole hog coming out. It finds one. 2 kills already. Sticko finds one just after the whole hog as well. And another one. Widowmane with the slice onto Lost Sauce. The team kill. And this will only prolong the Gibbons lead.
I think at this point, right, you'd rather have the bot a bit farther from the spawn of Avalon, just so that they aren't able to recontest it so much easy, and like you have a different spot to keep them busy. But no, Galactic Gibbons still wants to push this bot with Zasper building towards that overclock, and we'll probably pop it in this next fight.
Yeah, Galactic Gibbons can see the series being over here, but here comes the overclock from Zasper. It needs to find someone. Hasn't found anyone yet. Gets the headshot there on the Sticko. Lavender able to take care of him. That's a huge pick for them. No tanks left for Gibbons, and look at that. They're all trying to run away to stay alive. However, Widowmane actually in the background finds Payload. Now they're going after Zasper, but there's 4v1. The deflect can only do so much, but it cannot deflect the beam. Their Lost Sauce is able to take them down, and now will be a smart move for Galactic Gibbons to just regroup here. Only 20 seconds left on that clock. One team fight win should win them this map.
One team fight win, and whoever wins this next team fight ultimately decides whether we're going to a map 5 or this goes into Gibbons territory. Gibbons with 3 ults on the back probably have more advantage over them.
The Kasuni and the beat coming out from Avalon. Here comes the Death Blossom. It finds one. It finds a second one. Payload trying to find anything else after that. They find one more with some help there, but the Kasuni rush actually comes out from Gibbons. That's such a missed opportunity. That's a wasted ultimate right there. Already 4 members down. They accidentally used it there. Now they only have this overclock left at their disposal. Sticko might be able to get a whole hog, but it's going to be really close. Widowmain does not have that blade. I believe they probably popped it last fight and died almost immediately after it. Payload swapping over to the Bastion now is an interesting swap, but it has gone into overtime. Here comes the overclock from Amor. It needs to be huge. They're in that backline. They just need to find a headshot on it. They keep missing on everyone right now. Sticko is back in there. They find Lost Us. It's a huge pickoff for Gibbons. They need to continue to find those. They are chunking down, but Payload comes back, immediately finding success with this Bastion. 1-2 down. Amor finds Zasper, keeping Avalon or Gibbons alive, or Hopes alive. The grab comes out. Amor with another kill for Gibbons, but the still team fight going on. It's a very scrappy one. The beat comes out from Clem. They find it. It's only up to Colossus now. They're trying their hardest. Mad is back, but it's the Kariko, or no, my bad. Lost in Sauce is back, but it's Lost in the Lost Sauce versus everyone on Galactic Gibbons, and Avalon so close, yet so far away from taking the lead there in overtime. Galactic Gibbons will end up taking this map and the series.
Avalon did show signs of life in that last fight, especially bringing out that Bastion, which got so much value from them. This fight, right? I said this deciding fight might actually have pushed Avalon to the next edge and probably to a map 5, but it's really the clutch potential of Gibbons that saved Gibbons in the end, with Amor just playing their life and making sure they didn't get picked off as they were regrouping, because they were the only one with an ult at that next engage at overtime.
Yeah, and honestly, we saw the Kasuni rush come out there really late in that last team fight. We saw it there in the play of the game come out late for Gibbons, and I honestly thought when that came out right there, 4 members already down, that might have been the map for them. I was really looking forward to a map 5, but Galactic Gibbons came out, put up a hell of a fight there. Avalon put up a hell of a fight too to end that map, but Galactic Gibbons just able to come out on top there and on top in the series as well.
Definitely, and also one thing Galactic Gibbons has shown to the Tranquility community is that you can play Roadhog on Esperanza.
Not to your liking, but you can play Roadhog on Esperanza. Honestly, you can probably play Roadhog on any map if you're good enough with it, but they make it work really well there on Esperanza.
Definitely, and as we're closing off today's matches with this outcome of Galactic Gibbons versus Avalon for 3-1, I would also like to announce that the one last match in Discord tier has also finally finished. MI7 versus Doodles ends with MI7 winning a clean 3-0 sweep against Doodles, knocking Doodles to the lower bracket.
Yeah, an upset there. A lot of upsets tonight actually coming out, and I love to see it. Me and you kind of talked about it during that break. We kind of just love to see chaos in these playoff brackets, and we saw a lot of it tonight here. Maybe not in this game here, as Galactic Gibbons was the higher seed, but there were a lot of upsets happening tonight in both the upper and lower bracket, and you love to see that. It just means that the Discord tier is a very, very competitive tier as a whole.
It's a very competitive tier. It's a very volatile tier. And, you know, as we mentioned, whoever lost this match, which happens to be Avalon, will be facing off against Redacted next week.
Yeah, and remember, Redacted was in this upper bracket at the start, so they're going to be seeing one of the teams that originally started in that upper bracket as well in the lower bracket now, fighting for their playoff lives. But, Thor, this was an incredible night of Overwatch. Do you have any last regards you want to say to either of the teams or any of the series that we saw tonight?
Honestly, all teams today put up a really good fight, and they have a great understanding. They have a good understanding of what they wanted to run and how to run it. It really comes down to some, just ult rotations for some, or the macro understanding of how you want to run your composition at the end of the day. And, we've seen a lot of Zarya, at least for today. Keynote nerfs coming in next week. We'll be seeing so many potentially new things next week, and that's what's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, you have to love a patch coming out halfway through a playoffs. It's really going to be fun for those teams that are still left in it. But honestly, again, thank you everyone for coming out. This was an incredible night of Overwatch here. Very, very competitive series. Could have gone either way in both of the ones that we watched here. But we saw Redacted overcome Poseidon there in the first one, and we saw Galactic Gibbons overcome Avalon here in this last one. Again, I just want to thank everyone who did come out. Thank you to our producer T tonight for doing everything that he did behind the scenes. And also, I just want to remind you all, go check out Tranquility's website at tranquility.gg. You can look at the rosters, score updates, also the history of the teams, or just the schedules for the team. See how they progress throughout the season, and also figure out when all the games are. They will the times on that website will automatically tell you in your time zone, so you're not getting confused a little bit. But again, Thor, it was amazing to cast with you yet again. I want to thank you so much. And I want to thank again everyone who came out to Tranquility Night to watch these games. It was an amazing night. I hope you all have a great night, and make sure you tune back in next week.